Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining us here today. I am your host, Sheila Bourne Joseph, and we are celebrating Black History Month with my title of I Like Black ... And none of you people better be dirty minded. I like black money, black money. Well, today I am blessed with two chocolate drops coming to the screen with me today. I will have them introduce themselves, and my lovely chocolate drop on the right with the hat. Could you please introduce yourself? Oh, I think you froze.
Can everyone can hear me, right?
Yes, I can.
Am I frozen or still active?
You still active?
All right. My name is Herby. Most people know me as Herb. Haitian American from Boston, Massachusetts. What else do people want to know?
No, well, that's fine for right now. Okay. And then I have my young other chocolate drop on to the right with the glasses. Would you mind please introducing yourself?
Good afternoon. My name is Reand Jackson. I am too from Boston. I'm half Haitian, half American. My mom's regular. My father's Haitian.
Your mom's regular.
Yeah, regular black. We're gonna say regular black.
I'm not even going to say nothing to you, ladies and gentlemen. These Reand Jackson is my cousin, and Mr. Herby Santil is one of my young black men that I used to raise back in the day. I'm not going to tell you how old I am, but yeah. That's where we're going to leave it at that. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to talk about the black dollar. The black dollar is something that I would like to increase in my pocket, and I'm asking these gentlemen as entrepreneurs, how have they decided to move on and do become an entrepreneur? And maybe they can give us tips on how to make the black dollar work. So, Mr. Herby, can you please let me know what business are you in?
So I'm currently the founder and CEO of Hispaniola. So for those that don't know, Hispaniola is the island of Haiti in the Dominican Republic. It's a clothing brand that I launched back in 2018. It's a brand that represents unity, a brand that represents love, and it's a brand that highlights the African diaspora. Even though some Dominicans don't claim that they're Black, my brand is all about uplifting Haitians and Dominicans worldwide, whether it's the Bronx, Lawrence, Lynn, Boston, Miami.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad to hear that.
All over the place.
So you've been in the business since 2018?
Yeah, 2018. So what, 4 years now?
Okay. So what inspired you to do that? What was your drive?
For me, I'm a kid from Boston, city kid.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up around a lot of cultures, Dominicans, Puerto Ricans, Haitians. But I went on a service trip to the DR in 2015.
Mm-hmm.
And that changed like my whole outlook on life about colorism, purpose, and identity. And I just saw how some of the kids in the Dominican Republic, how they were treating each other, like the light-skinned ones versus the dark-skinned ones. And to me, that was the problem. So I came back to Boston, started writing things in my journal.
Okay.
And I just put two and two together and kind of just like started a new movement, started a new trend in the city.
Okay. All right. Let me ask Reand. Reand, what business are you in? Please tell our listeners here.
I am in the financial business.
Mm-hmm.
That's the business I am. I'm all about educating on finances.
Okay. Wonderful. Now, can I ask you, when did you decide to go into that direction, and why?
I started about, I want to say 2016. I wanted to go in that business is because I feel as though that one, I wanted to learn about finances myself, like learn how investments work, learn how retirement accounts work or stuff like that. I felt as though that it was a lack of knowledge, especially in our school system. Growing up where we grew up,
Mm-hmm.
there wasn't really a focus on, hey, how credit score works or whatever the
Yes.
case,
Right.
or when should you start putting money away for retirement, you know? So
Mm-hmm.
I always had an interest of learning about that. So if I felt that way and my group of friends who I hung around with felt that way,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of us probably feel this, you know, in my community felt the same way.
Okay.
So, you know, but
Okay. Now, can I ask you this? What now? Just give us a little tidbit of your financial guru tidbits. Now, if I am a person of age, how 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 would I start, let's say, a Roth, or how would I go into investments? Just give us a little tidbit. It doesn't have to be a long thing.
well, I mean, there's many avenues
Mm-hmm.
you can start with. You know, there's Roths, there's IRAs,
Mm-hmm.
there's individual retirement account, and Roth is pretty much the same thing. But there's different tax purposes between the two.
Mm-hmm.
But how would you pretty much start is I would always start with your employer,
Mm-hmm.
see what your employer has, because most of the time your employer match dollar for dollar up to a certain percentage. So if
Right.
they match up to 3%, then you take advantage of that. If you're putting $100 a check away, you know, $100 away a check, then
Mm-hmm.
they're matching that dollar for dollar with you. So always start with your employer to see what they have. And it's never wrong. It's never wrong to have multiple retirement accounts. You know,
Right.
you may do $100 a check to your employer, but you also could do $25 or $50 outside of that, because
Mm-hmm.
you kind of want to create multiple streams of income when you retire.
Right.
You know, so but simply start off with the employer, see what they have first. If they match, then you match what they matching, and then you know multiple financial companies are out there that you can utilize that can help you start your retirement account. And you don't have to start, you know, start small. Start $50 a week or $100 a week.
Mm-hmm.
Something's better than nothing.
Okay. Now, you said that you should start with your employer, and
Mhm.
let's say someone is like Herbie. Let's say someone is self-employed. How
Mhm.
would how would they invest? How would they go about that?
Well, there's companies like Fidelity. You can use Fidelity. There's Primerica.
Mm-hmm.
There's multiple financial companies that you can use that helps you with those type of services. And you just gotta understand, okay, how much am I willing to put away, and how much can I afford to put away
Mm-hmm.
that's not financially strapped me for the month, you know. So
Right.
it always start small, and then there are financial advisors that sit there and kind of guide you or give you a little roadmap to say, okay, well, when would you like to retire? All right, great. This is the age. Well, how much you willing to put away? All right, cool. And kind of like give you like a reality check to say, okay, well, if you want to retire at this age, you may need to put a little bit more away, or whatever the case may be. So there's
Okay.
always someone there to kind of hold your hand and guide you.
Okay. Now, Herbie, can I ask you, you starting this business? Now, did you start with a group of friends, or are you just the sole person?
Team Solo Dolo.
All right, great. Now,
The reason I say that is because oftentimes when you're, how could I phrase this? When you're pregnant with purpose,
mm-hmm.
you can't have you can't have too many people touching your stomach.
Oh, no. Okay.
You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
um, the reason why like Hispaniola is so like sensitive to me is because like I am a city kid, and like I have friends that are Haitian and
Mm-hmm.
Dominican.
Right.
And I feel like oftentimes when you're trying to share your goals, dreams, and visions with people, they don't understand it at first,
Mm-hmm.
right? They want to see some traction behind the movement. They want to see people that have influence behind the movement before they actually latch on to the movement. And that's exactly what happened. Like when I first started it, people were like, bro, that's kind of stupid, that's dumb. But then
Mm-hmm.
with Black Lives Matter happening and
Mm-hmm.
like different atrocities in the world, now people are saying, oh my God, like we have to come together as a people. But
Right.
I've been preaching that message ever since I was a little kid, even before MySpace, Facebook,
Mm-hmm.
before all these social media platforms.
Right.
I've always been the kid that was cool with so many cultures.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Okay.
but yeah, that's kind of like with me, like, yeah, people are like behind it and helping me. But in terms of like me operating it and trying to like network and
Mm-hmm.
go to New York, go to Connecticut, I do everything by myself.
No, so
Um,
when you were starting this business, what obstacles did you face?
I would just say believing in myself.
Believing in yourself, really?
Yeah, because it's like I might have to switch over to my other recording.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
My phone is charging. 1 second. Let me see if it works. Yeah, if my phone does, I apologize. But basically, like just believing in yourself. Whenever you want to step out in faith and do something,
Mm-hmm.
um, you might have doubts in the beginning. You might have fears. You might have insecurities. So
Mm-hmm.
I think the first thing is just believing in yourself,
Okay.
starting small. Just starting small.
Okay. And Renan, have you ever had any type of faced any obstacles doing this
Oh,
business?
most definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Just like I would agree with her was saying, is a lot of self doubt creeps in, and having that, like, man, is this gonna work? Do people believe in what I'm saying? You
Mm-hmm.
know, having that confidence, making sure that, hey, am I actually, saying the right things? Are people believing what I'm saying? So it's just making sure that, and over time that grows.
Yes.
And with a lot of self improvement, as far as like reading books and having the right people around you, like a support system. Like
Mm-hmm.
I have a support system in my wife. She pumps belief in me every day.
Shout out to
So
your wife. Whoop, whoop.
um, but um, but yeah, it's just those obstacles are just as far as just not believing in yourself and just making sure that you have the confidence and keep going. So
Okay, now you say your wife. I have a question. Now, would you, like, being the entrepreneur men that you guys are, do you expect your spouse to bring the same amount to the table? Or if you're single, do you search for a woman that's just at your level or someone that's higher? Anybody can answer.
I think for me, this pandemic has showed us having one stream of income is not enough.
Mhm.
Next month will make it 2 years since we've been in this pandemic.
Right?
So I feel like outside of your 9 to 5, 8 to 3, 7 to 4, whatever you do, right? I think having an entrepreneurial mindset is very important.
Mm.
And that's one of the things that I look for. Like I don't mind, like I've dated, girls in my past that like they're just comfortable, they're complacent with having a job. Like I'm
Mm-hmm.
not saying that, but you have to tap into your creativity,
Right.
your purpose, your passion, even if it is selling coquito or cremas
Said coquito. Cremas.
or
Lord.
or t-shirts. No, seriously, like or t-shirts or you're making pate. Like
Mm.
outside of your job, do you just go home and just chill or like what brings you passion,
So you
Even
have
even if you have even if you have to do like Uber or Lyft or Grubhub,
right
just having a
a
source of
side
income.
hustle. Hmm.
What are you gonna do when that income? Yeah, that's where I'm at mentality wise. Like,
Okay. Now, how do
I
you
think it's
guys?
important to wear a lot of hats.
Okay. Now, Renan, what do you think?
um, for me, it's like, do she have to have like a business or no? It's not. No, I don't really. What I mean, that's not important to me. But
Hmm.
as far as having a business mindset or like a passion to do something,
Okay.
or goals to do something or ambition to do something, yes, I'll look into that. And that's what my wife has. She's very passionate. She's very
Hmm.
goal oriented. She has ideas.
Okay.
What I mean. So I look for someone. Well, I found someone who who kind of has or match that energy. You know what I mean? And
Yes.
it's,
I'm
it's
glad you corrected yourself. I'm looking
yeah.
for some. I'm about to kick you.
But yeah, I found someone who brings that energy. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And it's on top of being a great mother,
Mhm.
because that in itself,
Yes.
um it's a tall order. You
Mhm.
know,
Now,
the go ahead.
what are your guys um like what are you guys what do you guys feel about the capitalism that is around, that is the new America today?
Can everyone hear me?
Yes, and we can hear you.
Yeah. So sorry, my phone died, so I'm
No,
talking to
no
my,
problem.
but my picture's still up. So yay.
Yes.
What was your question on? You said on capitalism.
Capitalism, how, being in this pandemic, I know that we can see capitalism is, it was hard. It was hard. And it seems like to me that the pandemic, we actually broke some barriers. Some people were like, you know what, I'm not going back to work. I'm going to go do my own thing. So how did you guys see capitalism during this pandemic?
Ooh.
No. It's okay if you don't, if you know, don't
I
understand,
mean,
don't know.
yeah, you can answer that, Renard.
I I think it's it could be a gift and a curse. You know,
Mm.
a lot of people realize that during this pandemic, like I always said that during the pandemic, you will realize how much your workplace care about you. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So
Mm.
That is so true.
you get a glimpse of, okay, how much they really care about you.
Hmm.
You
Right.
know, then it's just like, you know what? You want me to come in and then half the staff is sick and they're coughing, and
Right.
I just got over COVID, and now you want me to come in and work, 24 hours. It's just, I'm gonna go ahead and do my own thing.
Right.
But then the drawback for that is you're dealing with people, with businesses who are short
Hmm.
staffed,
Right.
or
Right.
hiring people that are not qualified for the job, in
Hmm.
return giving bad service. So like I said, it's kind of a gift and a curse. It's like, okay, yes, we open our eyes to do our own thing,
Hmm.
but backhand, it's like, all right, now the businesses themselves are suffering because they're hiring, the quality is not there as far as the hiring wise. They're just hiring just anybody, and therefore the service itself goes bad. I mean, goes down.
Hmm.
So I mean, it's great in one sense, but also on the other saying it's not. You know, some businesses are suffering. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Now, Herbie or
And
Bernard,
I,
do you
I
guys
was gonna
believe?
I was gonna piggyback off of what Renard said. Like,
Okay.
I feel like this pandemic and just like capitalism, like job descriptions, like they're so quick to, like, let's say if I was to, like, God forbid, I was to drop dead today,
Hmm.
right? By Monday or Tuesday, my position would be posted.
Yes.
And just
Yes.
like another thing that I've been realizing too, obviously I'm not married or I don't have like wife and kids and all that. But let's say if like
Hmm.
I needed time off from work, it's just like I have to ask another man permission, like, hey, like my wife is sick, she's in the hospital. He
Hmm.
has the quote unquote the power to give me that time off. And it's just like I feel like with this pandemic, some men have realized like, no, like I shouldn't be asking another man, like,
Hmm.
if your wife is sick or if your child is sick, you should have the creative control to like, hey, families first. But if you're
Right.
like stuck in a job, or if if you've been there for X amount of years, like the person above you has to like give you the green light. It's just like, wait, what? And
Yeah.
women too. Like I'm sure, women have experienced that like in the corporate world.
Oh yes, I have experienced that in terms of when I was pregnant with my first daughter, where the employer
Mm,
assumed that I needed this job. And
mm,
once I displayed that this job is just a job and I can do good all by myself, then the attitude and the intention had shifted. So
mm,
it's all about assertiveness when you're in a job, and letting them know where you stand as a person and also as an employee, and that respect should be is not an option, it needs to be set in stone. You need to respect me as soon as I come here. As soon as I become your employee, I'll show you the respect and come and do your job, but you also have to reciprocate that.
Right.
Mhm. Now, do you guys believe in the black dollar? Do you think that the black dollar is powerful? Like
Go ahead.
if you were like say if we as the black community, whether black or brown, if we were to stop meddling with the like the Stop and Shop or this Star Market, Whole Foods, and just input all of our money in local yokels, do you think how much of an impact can we make? Like I always wanted to restart the new Black Wall Street. That is one of my goals in life, to restart the new I'm saying Black Street, Black Wall Street. In order for us to have something of our own, I want to have a legacy set for us, for not just my grandkids, but my great grandkids. They need to be able to enjoy what we have done, just like as the slaves have set us free, have done all they've done, and we are here today to do some of these things. So what do you guys think?
I definitely believe in the black dollar. Um, I mean, look at like for Herby's line of profession clothing.
Mm-hmm.
You see one rapper say something about a Louis bag, and next thing you know, it's catching fire. Everyone's buying that same Louis bag or whatever case may be. Imagine we put that same energy into Herby's clothing line.
Mm-hmm.
So something like that and supporting one another goes a long way, but sometimes we have that crab in the barrel mentality.
Mm-hmm.
That holds us back at sometimes. Like I would love to see how Blue Hill Lab, there's a Fernandez liquor store every block.
Everywhere.
You know what I mean? Why? So like why they Blue Hill Lab pretty much? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like, why can't we have a strip like that?
Exactly.
But then again, it's like, all right, we got all the crab in the barrel mentality.
Mm-hmm.
Not to say that that's across the board, but it just sometimes we hurt ourselves and don't want to support another, or always asking for a discount.
Exactly.
Like, show me the same respect that you would show the next man if he wasn't black. You know why? I give you a discount.
Because I know you. That's all it is. The me is because I know we go way back. It's not about that.
Pay me my fees. So it's just but I believe it's getting better though as far as with social media, because every time, like if I'm looking for a cake person, I got a black cake person.
Right.
If I'm looking for, like, I picked up some strawberries just now. This girl, she made awesome strawberries. I picked them up from her. She's black. So and then if it's good, I'm gonna promote her. I'm gonna repost her stuff on social media. I'm gonna like, hey, go see this person or try this out and stuff like that. So I think we do a better job on social media promoting other people's businesses, and especially if it's a good product, we're gonna support it. Absolutely. And then we're gonna repost it, So I think we're doing better in that department. But as far as like brick and mortars and stuff like that, I think we need to do better in that. And it all starts from, the whole black dollar supporting, storefronts and stuff like that.
Yeah, I hear you. How about you, Herby?
I agree. I feel like in the black and brown communities, oftentimes we want discounts, but we don't go to the Louis store, the Gucci store, the Balenciagas, right? The Salvatore Ferragamos. We don't ask them for a discount. We go to Newberry Street. We go to all these high-end stores, spending $500, $1,000, $2,000 Canada Goose.
Right.
But there might be like a small pop-up shop in like Brockton or like somewhere in Clary Square that could be selling like a really good product and like, oh, this shirt is $50. And we're going to be like, what? How is this shirt $50? Man, I'll give you 30.
Yes.
But that same shirt at the Louis store in Newbury Street is $75. And it's like, oh, but it's Louis.
Mm-hmm.
You're paying for, like, I feel like our mindset as black and brown people needs to shift.
Mm-hmm.
Like, these companies don't even care about us. These like high-end French designers,
No, they don't.
like, they don't even want us to shop at their establishment.
Mm-mm.
But yeah, we'll drop 200,
Yep.
300, $6,000 to wear a product,
That they don't want us to wear.
right? And then it's like me buying a $200. It's like me buying a $2,000 like Louis Vuitton sweatshirt
Mm-hmm.
just to show Renard like, hey, I could afford it, and he's like, okay, like, who cares?
Yep.
But I feel better about myself at the end of the day,
Right.
because like I
Right.
have it and he doesn't, but it's like that's a stupid mentality.
Absolutely.
And we're the only culture that does that. You don't see Asians. Asians don't do that.
Right.
The Jewish community doesn't do that. I feel like
Mhm.
black and brown, like Hispanic, Latino communities, all we do, it's like we want to wear flashy, like we got to look better. We have to outdo the next person.
And I think that just contributes to the slave mentality, because they would only take the light skinned blacks into the house, and then once the Uncle Tom's was like, oh massa, this Negro over here, he wasn't picking cottons the right way. He was picking with his left hand rather than his right. So I think that stems, and that's just carry on, which is really sad on our part, and we just have to rethink our minds on what we need to do as individuals and one as a community. So guys, I wanted to ask you, and I'll ask Herbie first, if you could write a letter to yourself that you can open up in 5 years, what would you say?
Wow. 5 years from now?
Yeah, 5 years from now. You open
Okay.
it.
What would I want in that? So what would I want to be manifested in that letter? Like, well, like, what do you?
No, look, okay, yeah, okay. You writing it down now, and you already, yes, manifested in the letter, and you're opening it 5 years later.
I would tell myself to, stay focused on my assignment.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get caught up in like the hype or like that spirit of comparison,
Yes.
because my journey is different from somebody else's journey. I could be inspired by somebody else's journey, but I shouldn't want to copy somebody else's journey. So for me, I mean, I'm 29, right? So in 5 years, I'll be what, 32?
Mm.
Crazy. I mean, there's certain goals that I've written down that I look at like every other day.
Right.
But I'll just say, give myself grace, right? Give myself grace.
Mm-hmm.
Focus on the now. And take every day, like, be intentional with every single day.
Yes.
And
Okay.
obviously, like, friendships and like having the right men in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like sometimes people, they want certain things, but it's the company that you keep around you that could either make or break you.
Thank you. Okay.
Yeah, just be critical about friendships, conversations, and focusing on my individual assignment.
Okay. And how about you, Renaud? What would you say?
Oh man, what would I say? I would say definitely travel more.
It's always
Def-
good.
Travel more, read more, or get back to reading. Um, and don't be afraid of losing. Make sure that you're when you lose, those are lessons. It's not
Yes.
the end of the world. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? But as long as you learn from your lessons, learn from your losses. Sorry, learn from
Mm-hmm.
your losses. And keep it pushing and don't give up. Be fine. You know what I mean? And just stay the course.
Okay.
Stay the course. You got to stay the
Stay
course
close.
and just keep that faith up.
Yeah. Well, that's wonderful. Now, that was really good, guys. I really appreciate you guys expressing that. Now, what one tip would you give to the entrepreneurs listening to this podcast? What's one thing that you would tell them?
Sorry, say it one more time.
I said, what one thing would you tell our entrepreneur listeners out there to keep them motivated?
I would just say, I mean, fear, right? You got to get over that hump of fear.
Mm-hmm.
Fear has two meanings: forget everything and run, or face everything and rise.
All right. That's good.
So
I like that.
Just I don't know, just do it. Like
Mm-hmm.
even if you don't, even if you only have 10 followers or 30 people that support you, who cares?
That's
It's
right.
always just try. Like just try, you know?
That's right.
That's
I
my
tell
biggest
you,
piece of advice.
I'm gonna be the new Haitian Oprah. Don't worry, brother. I'll
like
take you guys. I'm gonna bring you guys with me.
Definitely, I encourage everyone to just try.
Yes. And how about you, Renan?
I would say you gotta read, man. You gotta read. You gotta self-develop.
Mm-hmm.
Must self-develop, because once you conquer up here, what's in your mind, once you conquer that, and possibilities are endless.
Yes.
The endless. You gotta develop and self-improve on a consistent basis. Once you do that, then you can do anything that you want to do. You can conquer anything that you want to conquer, as long as you conquer your mind first and have that self-belief and have some solid people around you.
Yes.
You go.
That's right. That's right. Well, all right, guys, we are coming to the end of our nice little podcast. I want to say thank you so much to the CEO of Hispaniola, Herby Santillo, and to Mr. Reand Jackson for his financial advice. I appreciate you guys for taking the time out and just giving our listeners something to think about on how we can evolve ourselves in this community and also in this world, not only because it's just Black History Month, but just as a whole, as a person and as an individual, to help us move forward. And that's what I wanted to do. So thank you guys very much for coming and sharing your thoughts. I appreciate you. My name is Sheila Bourne Joseph, and I'm here with Mr. Herby Santillo and Reand Jackson. I thank you, and we will see you again another time. Thank you guys. I appreciate it.
No problem.
Yes, sir.